I hear a voice that says, "I'm Raphael, I'm here to help you." And I was like, oh, I died.
Out radio show, man, they everywhere.
All right, y'all, tuned in for another episode of Banked Out Radio Show. I'm your host, Andreas, and I have Miss Allie Lovegood, who is a breathwork trainer and teacher. She does microgreens and has a crystal business. What's the name of the crystal business? I forgot.
Maze Mystics.
May Mystics?
Maze Mystics Crystal Shop.
Maze.
Yeah,
Mystics.
Maze. M-A-E-S. Yep.
Oh, May. Okay. Yes, Maze Mystics. It's in Covington, Georgia. And I met Allie. It was at a vegan thing in Macon, like a few years back.
It was the vegan cook-off. Do you remember?
Yes, that's what that was.
Yes.
And one, I love the fact that you support the cook shops so you keep doing that. And you've also, like, every now and then I'll catch your stories and stuff like that, and you include the cook shop on it, which I think is fantastic. Sometimes people, they'll do business with the business and then they'll just forget about them.
Yeah.
And they're small business owners. We need all the promotion and help as possible. And you did the video, which I've used a few times as well. You was like talking about the tea, and I repurposed that video. Also, as people watching this, if y'all want to, if you have not tried the Cook Shop products, there is a 25% off for new clients and returning clients. So all you got to do is go to thecookshop.com.
Sure, Cook Shop. So guess what? If you have not bought any products from the Cook Shop, or it's been a good little minute, I got you covered, baby. Yeah, give you 25% off for all my new clients. So what you're gonna do? You're gonna go to thecookshop.com, type in new clients, you get 25% off. And we have the various teas from hibiscus with ginger, pea flower, moon leaf. We got the pre-rolls, all the little smokers out there, for all my smokers out there. Got the oils, have soap, coffee, hemp rinse, salve, type of little application. The dog treats, they're on there as well. And then if you get the dog treats, you're gonna get a flashlight to go with it. So yeah, hit up the cookshop.com, type in promo code upon checkout, new client, all one word.
ECOKESHOPPE.com. You'll see the site, and upon checkout, type in new client, all one word, and you'll get 25% off your order. So yeah, get that out the way. Thank you, Allie, for being on the platform.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Let's get into it. As far as you have multiple businesses. What made you want to even become like an entrepreneur and to take that journey?
Well, I worked in the corporate world since I was around 15 years old. And then in 2014, I was working out in Las Vegas at Aria Hotel for Jimmy Choo, the luxury designer. And I saw the amount of people that would just come in, not even tourists, but locals that would just come in and spend astronomical amounts of money just on products that they don't necessarily, that's not going to fulfill them, right? It's products that aren't going to help them. It's just like an external materialistic thing. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, like this is just, it's insane the amount of money and the amount of things that people have in their home. And in 2014, I actually got really sick. So you hear my voice change right now. It's because I have a device implanted that keeps me alive.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah, so in 2016, I got really sick, like to the point where I died and then had to come back, and I was bedridden for 2 years until around 2016. And I had to go through all the physical therapy, all the OT, everything all over again. I had to learn basic things once again because my hands weren't functional. I had to do everything all over again. So whenever 2020 came around, was whenever I started to actually feel like what you guys see now. And I was just like, I don't know if somebody's ever going to hire me because I'm still a liability. I'm still having seizures. Like there are days where I can't even get out of bed. So I was like, okay, what can I do to generate income that is going to support myself and also help my community? And I was like, I got to become an entrepreneur. I have to do it. There's no other option. because I need to feed myself, and I
Yeah.
definitely have to help other people somehow. So
Yeah.
that's what I did.
Well,
I became an entrepreneur.
that definitely that's a story in there. Do you like lead with that when you talk to people and let them know about like your transformation? Because I'm like that right there. Like PR people would love it.
Yeah.
Um,
It's sometimes, yes. A majority of the time, I like when I'm on social media, if I'm
mhm.
not on lives, you will hear me pick specific points where my device isn't going off. So there are,
Okay.
yeah, because you have those ignorant people or people that are just so ill-informed, they think that I'm sick. So like
Hmm.
in person, if someone's talking to me, they'll like step back or put like something over their face or like look at me weird, and I'm just like, it's my medical device, like I can't do anything about it. I'm not
Yeah.
sick, like contagious sick, but
Yeah.
it's just one of those things that it's quite
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
lot of people don't have compassion for, let's just say. So
Yeah.
for my social media
Mhm.
content, you'll hear me talk in my regular voice, and then sometimes
Mhm.
I just don't even care, and you'll hear me talk with my device going off, but the
Mhm.
comment section will be filled with like such negative comments about how
Yeah.
my voice is creepy. Yeah.
Yeah. People are stupid. And,
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you have to go through that, but yeah, I do. I'm curious, and you'll have to answer this if you want to, but I've always had this fascination with what people see when they like technically medically die, and then come back.
Oh,
So what was your experience like, if you don't mind talking about that?
absolutely. So it was like, okay, I was so sick. I was laying in the hospital bed. I was so sick, and I was hooked up to all these machines and everything else, and I
Hmm.
wasn't even myself. So whenever I died, I just remember closing my eyes and then going and shooting down like this tunnel at the speed of light, where all these beautiful like flashing lights were around me, but it was like,
Hmm.
think of like the stars and you're traveling so fast right beside them, and you
Hmm.
just get to this beautiful area, and I'm just overwhelmed with like the most peace and like sense of love that I've never felt here on earth. And the
Hmm.
colors are just so vibrant and so beautiful, and I
Hmm.
heard everyone talking around me, but I couldn't understand. It was like you're in a stadium and you hear all the noise and people are chattering,
Hmm.
but like you couldn't
Hmm.
hone in onto one person. And
Hmm.
then immediately I get drawn to like this little section of this beautiful like peachy and orange like colors, and I
Hmm.
hear a voice that says, "I'm Raphael, I'm here to help you." And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, I died. And then
Hmm.
immediately, like my brain just went, I shouldn't even say my brain, like my consciousness, I should say, just
Hmm.
went into like different areas of my life. And I realized I was dead.
Hmm.
And then I was guided to this area where I was shown all the different areas of every bad decision I ever made, and
Hmm.
how I had the ability at the time to change every aspect of it. But at the time, I didn't see those options, and it
Hmm.
it was just so cool, like, and I was just so overwhelmed with this sense of like, why didn't I do this, why didn't I do that?
Hmm.
And then I was like, okay, well, if I decide to pass on and continue to
Hmm.
stay in this realm, like, what is my next life going to be like? Because I'm very I was never big into the afterlife, or never big into like reincarnation before I
Hmm.
passed.
Hmm.
And whenever I got there, I had like this overwhelming sense of like deep grief that
Hmm.
I could have done so many different things without my life, and I didn't do it.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
just simple decisions could have changed my entire trajectory of where I
Hmm.
am right now. So I started negotiating. I was like, is my body so damaged to the point where I cannot come back? And
Hmm.
Raphael said, it's damaged, yes, and you're going to have a long journey and you're going to be filled with heartache, but you
Hmm.
will survive and you will change your life. And I was like,
Wow.
all right, let's do it. So I remember being placed back into my body, and it felt like I was hit by a Mack truck. And I was in such excruciating pain physically.
Hmm.
I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe I just did this, but I'm
Hmm.
saving myself lifetimes of misery later on.
Hmm.
And from then, I was bedridden for 2 years. It was the most eye-opening, humbling, and like get your shit together type
Hmm.
thing, that this is where I needed to go in my life. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was a rough, really 2 years.
Wow.
It was rough.
That's amazing. Okay, so I just want to make sure. So we're having a conversation, and you can you're still able to, it's not putting any strain on you to speak. It's just the device is going to fluctuate the pitch of.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Because I'm gonna keep on talking to you, man.
Yeah, I'm okay talking. That's fine. It's just you're gonna hear me talk, and then like it'll feel like I'm straining, but I'm just trying to breathe through it. So like the device is implanted here in my neck, and then the battery's right here in my chest.
Wow.
So because the wire is so close to my vocal cords, it feels like someone's like squeezing your esophagus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay. I know this is about your business and everything, but I do like to, be relatable, and I'm very inquisitive. So when you go to like TSA and everything, do you like set out the little machines, or are you allowed to walk through the the scanning thing?
Let me tell you what, TSA pre-check was honestly one of the best things that I've ever done, because like I still I have to get a medical opt-out. So like those X-ray machines that they have you go through, they're like there's no radiation. They lie. There's actually a lot of radiation that goes within the body for that.
What?
And yes, look it up. It's insane. I will send you a link for it actually, because it's insane on like how much damage it actually does to the body. And whenever I was in the hospital, I actually had radiation poisoning because they kept scanning me. I died from medical malpractice.
Oh,
so yeah, so I already lived through radiation poisoning once, and that was awful to get rid of. And I still do maintenance on that still to this day, 9 years later. And but those X-ray machines, I can't go through them. It'll fry my device. An MRI machine will fry my device as well. And since the placement is on there, if I ever have to have an MRI done of like my neck or my abdomen, they can only do a partial of like certain lumbar down and then certain cervical up. So I always opt in for a medical opt out. But I mean, once people look at me and they're like, oh, she's not disabled, she's fine, like there's nothing wrong with her, until the TSA agents like, oh, this is like a real medical thing. Like you could see my device, you could see my wire.
Faking this stuff. I'm like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know. It like I said before, it's just the ignorance of people's mind. Yeah.
I mean, there are so many different things that go on in life. That people have all sorts of different things going on with them. I tell you, I'm being annoyed. But let's go. And let's touch on, okay, so which business did you start first? Was it the microgreens?
It was Gideon's Hydrofarm microgreens. So in 2019, actually, Gideon saved my life twice that year. And I was like, if I ever started a business, it's going to be named after him. So Gideon, the name Gideon is very, it has a lot of meaning to it. There's a lot of depth within the name Gideon. And I wanted to have that incorporated into my business somehow, because he was so in depth and he was so full of life, and his life had a lot of meaning to it. Oh my God, 1111. And so I wanted to have a business that would impact people and get them to think on a deeper level. So like with microgreens, like I used to, when I lived in Warner Robins and Perry, I had a 15 by 15 foot garden. And whenever I left my ex-husband, I couldn't take that garden with me. So I was like, okay, what is something that I can take with me where I can grow food and it would always be accessible to me anytime I need to? I was like, hydroponics. That's it. I love gardening. I love farming. So hydroponics, I could take it with me anywhere. I could do it anywhere. And it's something so small that you can grow microgreens on your counter from seed to full fruition. And it's so easy to do. So that's what I wanted.
Yeah, and they're jam packed with nutrients and all that stuff too.
Oh my gosh.
I've been trying to get people to turn on to it. So then I guess the breathe work, being a teacher, I'm sorry.
Breath work, yeah. Yeah.
See, there I go again. Breath work teacher and trainer. I imagine that was next, or was it the crystals?
Breathwork teacher training actually was it next? So breathwork teacher training and Maze Mystics were actually within the same month of one another. Okay. Yeah. So in 2019, whenever I was with my ex-husband, I started to do shamanic breathwork. I don't know if you know what that is.
No, you can educate me.
Oh, it is deep rhythmic breathwork that you do at a continuous basis to release trapped emotions and trauma within the body. And I, whenever I was with my ex-husband, I didn't realize what my self-worth was. It was absolute nothing. I didn't know what my boundaries were. I had no boundaries. So I was basically like that doormat people pleaser that everybody just dumped all their crap on all the time. And I was like, I cannot live like this anymore. So I started to do shamanic breath work. And then I really started getting into like learning self-awareness,
Mm-hmm.
self-realization, having like almost divine moments to the point where it was like reminding me so much of my near-death experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because whenever you do rhythmic breath work like that for a long time, you have like all these epiphanies. You have
Mm-hmm.
all these realizations, and it's just so magical and where you can go and explore within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I was I did breathwork and Maze Mystics at the same month. Reason being is because I was recommending other crystal shops, and
Mm-hmm.
they were making astronomical amounts of money just from my recommendations on social media. On
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, I don't have as big of a following as I do on TikTok. TikTok,
Yeah.
I have over 250,000 people.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
thank you. So on my social media platforms, like on TikTok, is much larger than what it is on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And one woman said that she made $40,000 a month within one video of my recommendation for
Oh, wow.
using a crystal paired with breath work.
I'm like, she may be cutting you a check.
I was like, you know,
Just me though, as a business person, because I know how valuable influence is,
yes,
because I've done it for other people. I would be like, you know what? Look, you did so much money for me. I'm gonna cut you a check, and then let's see what we can work out for the future and everything for you to keep this thing rolling.
yep.
I get, like, you know what I'm saying. I don't know, but that's just me. That's my ethics in business. That's where I draw a high standard. Apparently, I have a high
Yeah.
standard for business when it
I'm the
comes to
same
stuff.
way. I recommend other businesses all the time, especially during the
Mm-hmm.
holiday season where people are like, okay, where can I shop entrepreneurs that are not going to just like throw all my stuff in a box and like it just shows
Mm-hmm.
up at my door. Like where's the
Yeah,
tender loving care? Where's the customers?
exactly.
Like where's the entrepreneurs that know the
Mm-hmm.
customers,
Yeah.
size, color, everything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So every holiday season and even throughout different months, you will see me tag different businesses in there
Mm-hmm.
because the products I've tried are amazing. Like
Mm-hmm.
your teas, oh my
Mm-hmm.
god, your
Yeah.
teas are so delicious for the cook shop, and that's where I was like, yes, this product needs to be recommended. It's
Yes.
delicious. It is so well cared for, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people need to have this more in their life instead of buying like what is that Lipton tea? You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? So
Yeah. Throw that step away.
yeah, just don't even buy it. Just keep it on the shelf. It's not even real tea. So I do a lot of partnerships, I would say, and
Uh-huh.
recommendations for businesses because there's so
Mm-hmm.
many people spending money on things.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm finding is like they buy so much, like let's just say they're getting into herbalism and teas.
Mm-hmm.
They buy so much of it and then it just sits there. There's
Mm-hmm.
barely any flavor. They add like a
Mm-hmm.
tablespoonful of sugar. There's no
Mm-hmm.
care instructions into it. There's no
Mm-hmm.
creativity into it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually sell organic teas in my shop. So
Mm-hmm.
what I do is create videos around the teas. Like, hey, you can
Mm-hmm.
have a lemonade lavender tea, and
Mm-hmm.
it could just be like a lemonade, and you can have it all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also calming. It's delicious, and you can make it at
Mm-hmm.
home. When people
Okay,
make
so
their own things,
can I,
huh?
so I'm- can I send you some cook chop tea then? Sell it at the
Yes,
store?
yes, absolutely.
You know, I have 5 flavors now.
I love it. I love it so much. I'm so excited. I'm gonna check that out actually because you said you were doing a sale. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 25% off. Just type in new client and
Yeah.
it'll populate 25% off. But yeah, I have the hibiscus that you tried. Added ginger to that one. So I have hibiscus and ginger. I have a
Ooh.
pea flower,
Ooh.
lavender, and mullein leaf. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, or mullein leaf, which however you
Yes.
pronounce it, is great, for the respiratory system because I have
Yes.
asthma. So that's what I've been using it for, to detox. And I'm telling you that a lot of women, when they drink the tea, one, they love the fact that, and I know we're talking about our teas and stuff, but I feel like, this is just, we're flowing with the conversation.
Yes.
Around their menstrual cycle, they love it because it lessens the pain.
Yes.
And then, of course, like the cloudiness and all that stuff dissipates when you wake up if you drink it at night. I don't know, have you drunk it at nighttime?
The melon tea.
Well, it in my teas.
Oh yeah, the hibiscus tea for sure. That
Okay,
was one of
so
my favorite ones. It's very relaxing.
yeah, so they love it because they'll drink it at nighttime, and then when they wake up in the morning, all that cloudiness is dissipated. So they just like, oh man, I just love your team. I'm so relaxed now. That like, yes, that's the whole point. Stop stressing about all that stuff you can't control.
Yeah,
That way you can get a sense of calmness so you can refocus.
yeah,
And it's healthy for you. I'm like, there you can read all the ingredients. That's it. It's only 5. I'm like,
yes,
the sweetener is stevia. That's natural.
yep.
The hemp, the elderberry, which is great for, immune system, the hibiscus because of the gut and, intestines and all that, and inflammation. So, that's Cook Shop is a holistic, just like you have, it's a holistic company. So everything that I
Yeah.
create and manufacture will be from a holistic standpoint. And that's the thing I'm trying to get people to understand. All this stuff is being pushed in mainstream isn't necessarily the best things for us.
Don't even
Yeah,
get me started on that.
yeah, yeah.
Let me tell you, there's so many, like, people are so deceived on a regular basis because they only
Mm-hmm,
read the front of the label. But if
mm-hmm,
they look at the back of the label, it's
mm-hmm,
like, let's just say you have a beverage in front of you, right? A
mm-hmm,
bottled, let's just say grapefruit juice.
mm-hmm.
You have grapefruit juice. It says 100% juice on the front of it. You turn it on the back, 5% juice. Well, it says
Yes.
100% juice on the front of it. So why does it say only
Yeah.
5% on
It's
the back?
100% of that 5%. That's what they're doing.
Exactly. So what I really expanded on within my microgreens business, and I think that every
Mhm,
entrepreneur should if they are in any sort of health, is get other people to realize like so many different things that they could do with your product, right?
mhm,
So I sell microgreens. That's one of my main businesses. So people are like, okay, what am I going to do? Just pick it off the coconut fiber and eat it? Like, no, I'm
mhm,
going to show you how to put it in recipes. So I create
mhm,
so many different free recipes that I have on my website. And then
mhm,
they're like, okay, this is actually pretty inspirable. I'm changing the way that I'm eating. I'm changing my taste buds. I'm actually eating healthier because
mhm,
the labels that you have, like a $17 protein bar at the store that is gluten free, non GMO, like that is
mhm,
packaged crap. It's
mhm,
still crap material. It's not real healthy food. That's not real food. So paying $17 for a bar may be seem justifiable to some people, but yet they won't take the whole foods and know how to cook with it. They don't
mhm,
know how to create meals or tasty or flavorful meals around
mhm,
that. Like most people, the standard American diet, they think, okay, I'm going to eat from a box, I'm going to eat from a can, and I'm going to
mhm,
get whatever packaged material is within the meat market, right?
mhm,
They don't realize the lack of flavor
mhm,
and the lack of nutrition that's within all of that.
mhm,
So if you like even on my social media pages, if you go to Gideon's Hydro Farm, you'll see all the recipes that I create on there. On my
mhm,
Insta stories, it's everything that like that I get from the grocery store. I even teach people how
mhm.
to budget on food, how to grow your own food, not just
Yes.
microgreens. It's growing your own food. Like you can take let's just say that you spend a little like 30 cents more buying organic green onion, right?
Mhm,
Chop
mhm,
the green onion off, put it into a bowl, and watch it
mhm.
regenerate, and then you have food.
Yes.
So I teach people that as well. It's not just microgreens; it's so many different aspects within the
Yeah.
food industry. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I saw a picture like back in the 40s and the 50s, everybody had gardens in their front yard and they would just barter different crops.
Yep.
When the microwave and the instant food and all that stuff came available, the convenience, you know what I'm saying, getting your time back and all that stuff. Yeah, but the trade-off is bad health. So,
It is. It's like, I don't have a TV anymore. I got rid of
mhm,
my television. And
okay.
but before, like I would only have like Hulu and Netflix and YouTube TV and stuff like that. But anyways, like the advertisements on there were always food,
Mhm,
like fast food,
mhm,
and then it would be the pill immediately after to
mhm,
counteract that fast food that you just ate because you're having health problems. It's
mhm,
it's just so redundant within their societal conditional programming that
mhm,
they want you to advertise the crappy food so then you spend money because it's cheap. And
mhm,
then they sell you the pill that is
mhm,
$100 a month or
mhm.
a prescription that's $100 a month. It's so sad that a lot of
Mhm.
people are trapped within that cycle.
Yeah, yeah, it is. So what's been your biggest lesson as an entrepreneur in doing all this?
business partnerships would be the best thing. Having good business relationships with other businesses, because that's how you thrive and stay together.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at how the economy is right now and we are in inflation,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the fact that people are not spending money, because they're spending more money now than what they've ever done. It's the
Mm-hmm.
fact that they are spending money on things that don't necessarily have meaning to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as I've spoken to, almost all my friends are entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Some are very successful, some are just starting out. And the ones that are very successful, they're stating that they have to find more creative ways and have good business partnerships with
Mm-hmm.
even doctors, physicians, school teachers, things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. They
Mm-hmm.
have to get within their local community and also give back to that community. That's how they're
Mm-hmm.
thriving.
Mm-hmm.
So I think honestly, like the best business decision I've ever done was expand my business partnerships and relationships.
Mm-hmm. But definitely, hey, I want to partnership with you.
Same.
I'm being for real. I'm not just saying it. So it's like, if you could change one thing, right, about entrepreneurship, what would be the one thing that you would change about it?
I would have to say that it would be my ability to fire people. And this took
Mm-hmm.
me a long time to grasp that concept, because I was just like, okay, I used to be the person that people please everybody all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
if I can just give this person one more chance, maybe they will not screw up, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not the fact that like businesses, like entrepreneurs, are having a hard time hiring people. It's
Mm-hmm.
they're having a difficulty firing.
Yeah.
So whenever and firing comes with boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to compromise like what you are going to tolerate and what you are not going to.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, I had someone help me with my website for my crystal business,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a family friend's son who
Mm-hmm.
was helping me with this business. And lo and behold, he actually put his credit card information onto my website and stole $5,700 worth of material. And
What?
I didn't catch it until I was doing my booking at the end of the month, and all
Yeah.
this money was gone. And I go into my website and I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And I was like, you know what? If this dude needed that $5,700, I'm just gonna wash
Mm-hmm.
my hands with it, and I'm done. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
done. Blocked him, changed back my card information onto my bank from my website, and I was just like, I
Mm-hmm.
would never do that again.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was helping out a family friend. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm done with that. So, the next time I was ready to hire somebody, I needed to help with web design
Mm-hmm.
for my breathwork website. And I was like, okay, I'm going to interview many different web designers, because I have many
Mm-hmm.
acquaintances that are web designers. And I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
need to interview them, but not interview them. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, hey, you're an acquaintance of mine. I'm an acquaintance of yours. Do you want to go like have coffee or something? And
Mm-hmm.
what I did was I bought their coffee, yes, and whatever else that they wanted. But what I did is whenever I got to the counter, I wanted to see how quick they were at making decisions.
Mm-hmm.
If they were wasting people's time on figuring out what they wanted, then I knew that that web designer was not the one for me.
Mm-hmm.
So the quicker they made the decision is the one I hired. And my
Mm-hmm.
website, I love that breathwork website. It's so beautiful. She did such
Yeah.
an amazing job onto it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was probably my favorite thing.
Yeah. See, I like that you're doing stuff like that and you're learning. I'm sorry that you had to go through that sucky experience though, but it made you better businesswoman.
It did.
And going on that, do you feel that you get the respect as a woman entrepreneur to your counterparts? Because see, I can already tell just by your expressions.
You know, I am a 120-pound blonde haired blue eyed girl.
Uh-huh.
And most men, older gentlemen that see me, they think, oh, she's just another Barbie. She's just another, this type of woman.
Mm-hmm.
I've been called Paris Hilton before,
Mm-hmm.
multiple times by multiple gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not until they start to have a conversation with me to where they
Mm-hmm.
feel that I am at their level of what they would deem respect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very sad to say that, as a matter of fact, not just like because of like I'm not I'm not a feminist whatsoever,
Mhm.
but in the realm of men and the patriarchy and how the levels have been, the foundation has been made, let's just say,
Mhm.
there is a way where you have to present yourself so people do not screw you over.
Yeah.
Like if I'm meeting somebody, like say I were to meet you in person, or
Mhm.
again,
Yeah,
for the
yeah, I
first
was gonna
time.
say,
Yeah,
yeah, we already done that.
yeah, we already did that. But let's just say like I met you for the first time and I
Uh,
went to shake your hand. I'm squeezing your hand as hard as I possibly can.
yeah.
It's not one of those little dainty
Mhm.
Southern Belle shakes. It's I'm
Mhm.
squeezing you as hard as I can and I'm not letting
Mhm.
go. You're gonna let go first. And I'm looking
Yeah.
you directly in the eye.
Yeah.
So majority of the men I have to do that too because they're just like,
Mhm.
that big
Yeah, that
whatsoever.
bravado. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
so sick of all that stuff. The interesting thing because of me being around so many women and also have had women partners, business partners. I've gotten to see how men really be treating women, and I've had a lot of experience with that. Actually, only about 3 or 4 companies that I have not had a partner in that wasn't a woman. And I'm like, one, I don't get it. I don't understand why. I look at people like I look at myself. I look at the business person in general. No gender. I don't care what your gender is. I just want
Yeah.
you to do good business. And if you're doing good business, we can all say, we get this thing going.
Yeah, exactly.
But I always thought, it's something within people's themselves that they have to do things like that and feel like intimidated or whatever the case may be. I don't know why they got throw around their bravado and all that stuff. To me, I think it's silly. And it shows that you're insecure yourself.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get to the money. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to build legacy businesses and be like the Vanderbilts and Rockefellers and all this stuff. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not focused on all this other noise. Um, so have you gotten to the point to where have people came up to you and be like, hey, I've been watching you and doing things that you and watching what you've been doing and following you. You inspired me to go out and start my business as well. You getting to that point?
Yeah, thankfully. And it makes me cry almost every time. Like the other day I
Mm-hmm.
received a DM from a lady. And within my crystal business, I
Mm-hmm.
am able to give back to my followers.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, I'm at a point where I can give a lot more than what I used to. So
Mm-hmm.
what I do is like randomly what I do is I go get $100 Visa gift cards and I put them
Mm-hmm.
in just a random box that I have for that week that I'm packing orders.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I do as well is buy groceries for people. So I'm a part of
Mm-hmm.
Misfits Groceries. I
Mm-hmm.
love that company. I love that they are about food waste and like saving the food waste because there's so
Mm-hmm.
many negative impacts from just throwing away food, right?
Yes.
And so Misfits actually takes the ugly food and they
Mm-hmm.
give it to people. And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to send so many grocery boxes out to people,
Mm-hmm.
single moms,
Mm-hmm.
people like elderly people.
Mm-hmm.
And I received a DM the other day that just made me blow my eyes out. And I posted it on my social media because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize like how big of an impact that was to that person. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's like, if you look at my, she said, if you look at my social media, it's picture perfect. But in my real life, I was broke. My engine just blew and I had a refrigerator problem. I couldn't store my food. She goes, and then I received your box in the mail of groceries and I bawled for days
Mm-hmm.
because like somebody who I've never met sent
Mm-hmm.
me something
Mm-hmm.
and it just changed everything. It just made it so much
Mm-hmm.
better. And I
Yeah.
told her, I said, continue to focus on what's good in your life, not the negative distractions that
Mm-hmm.
are happening to you right now, because it's just a
Mm-hmm.
distraction. Anything negative
Mm-hmm.
happening, like your
Mm-hmm.
engine blowing, it's just a
Mm-hmm.
distraction. You can get
Mm-hmm.
past that.
Mm-hmm.
But if so many people continue to focus on the negative, more
Mm-hmm.
negative is going to be in their environment. It's called
Mm-hmm.
inertia. So if
Mm-hmm.
you focus on the positive, that's whenever you get into the quantum field and you create within your own reality.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, I am now going to be graduating with my master's, and I
Mm-hmm.
did what you told me to do, and I'm just so grateful for you. I bawled my eyes out. I was like, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Yeah,
know.
it's like you put this energy out and you got it like 10 times back as far as the energy and the love.
Yeah.
And I've been getting that too, that going through a process of, divorce and separating and all that. And learning the impact that I've had on others and seeing who's really there in my corner. And I'm like, I have this horror story or whatever, but I'm not gonna get into it right now. I'll let you know later. So I'm gonna see my number 2. But yeah, being able to just get past that and focus on the positive and realizing that, I've impacted so many people's lives and I'm focusing on that. And then I'm getting more love and calls of concern. And just like my homeboy hit me up the other day, it's like, how was your weekend? I was like, it was really crappy. He's like, what you doing Friday? It's like, I want to go, I'm gonna take you out and go have a beer and everything. Like this little stuff like that just means so much to me
Yep.
nowadays. And I'm like, I just love it. I love being in a positive space. I love pouring into others and helping them realize their potential and, being a life changer for them.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes people just need like that confidence boost. And
Yeah.
it's sometimes hard to get it from family or friends because they tend to look at us from a biased lens. But
Oh, they
complete
do.
strangers can, yeah, I see it again. Your expressions, I love it. But complete strangers, though, won't look at you with that lens, and then they'll just pour into you because you never know what someone else has gone through.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that you're putting all this positive energy into the world. Um, I won't take up too much more of your time, but I've loved this conversation and definitely want to do like a follow up, later on. But let everybody know how can they get in contact with your best businesses and where can they follow on social media?
You can contact me at Maze Mystics. It's MAES_mystics on Instagram. There's Gideon's Hydro Farm. It's all one word, GIDEONS, Hydro Farm, all one word. And then Lovegood, LOVE, it's my last name, GOOD _Allie. So I will send you all that information.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah,
you can get a hold of me that way. And another way to get a hold of me is breathe with Allie at iCloud.com.
Allie at iCloud.com.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. Allie, thank you for your time. I've been loving it. I love your story. I'm telling you, go hire you a PR person, and yeah, you're gonna blow up even more. You really do. Like I've talked to PR people out in LA and other cities as well, and they all love the story. You have a tremendous story of going through what you went through and being able to come out on the other end. And there's a lot of inspiration in that as well. And like you really found your value in your work. So I'm happy. I'm glad
Thank
that you
you.